Hi everyone. First and foremost, I want to start off by saying thank you from the bottom of my heart for purchasing this video. You have no idea what this means to me, that you continue for your continual support. And if this is your first time purchasing one of my videos, I appreciate you guys. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. So as you can see here, I am creating my horseshoe section right way around, from growth pattern to recession, and growth pattern to recession. So this is going to free me up to create my foundation, which I always start at the back with, as you'll see in a moment. Making sure those lines are nice, crisp and clean, as you can see. Rizwan does have very, very thick hair, so the hair does want to pull against it. As you can see, as I move the camera in view now, as you can see, my knuckles are tight to the head. Very tight to the head. So this is creating a foundation right the way around. All the way around I will do this. As you can see, it's taken very minimal off, but this creates a nice scissor guideline for your three to come up and straight through. So I'll repeat this all the way around. Knuckles tight to the head. Doesn't matter even if you're taking off a millimeter, take it off and make sure it's nice and crisp. So I'll repeat this right around on both sides. So now that we've finished our foundation right the way around, we're going to go straight down the middle, sectioning that straight off, splitting it either side. What we're going to do here is create our elevation line or shape line. So this is going to determine the shape of our haircut. So I cut normally pretty much 99, well, pretty much all of my haircuts to a square masculine shape. Obviously, especially when it comes to fades. So by doing this, as you can see, I'm connecting it to my foundation, not past it, not above it, not below it, not over it. I'm literally connecting it to it, and that's going to give it a lovely crisp square edge. I'm doing this on both sides. So there we are. As you can see, I'm starting to pull out just slightly towards the fringe. Now this is going to elevate and give the fringe a little bit more length towards the recession line there. And I'm doing exactly the same at the back, exactly the same at the back, right way around. Now that's been done. I'll comb it forward, my center profile line. Right, down a bit more. His hair is super, super, super absorbent. So take a lot of water. Excuse me, guys. So yeah, here you can see I'm doing my center profile line. Now this is just an extra safety blanket. Not everybody has to do this, but I do this just to create that third safety blanket. So what we will notice, I start from the back here. Rizzo doesn't actually want much off. So what I'm doing is, from where I texturized this haircut last time, I'm just removing the thinness and the wispiness. I'm just connecting it all back through so it's lovely and thick. And I'm angling it almost triangular towards the fringe. So there's more length towards the fringe, because we did shave his fringe off last time. And as you can see, I've finished that. And now I've combed that all over to one side. And as you can see there, I've got a long bit, a short bit, and a short bit, and a long bit in the middle. And that's all I'm doing is connecting the dots, guys. So with each stroke, I'm creating another safety guide. So I've got one on my left, one on my right, and I got one in front of the haircut, in front of the cut I am doing. So that means that I cannot go wrong. The length is going to be perfect all of the way back, because I've created one guideline with my elevation line, and I've created another guideline with my center profile. And as you can see, each cut is precise, each cut is perfect. So that means if you look very carefully, you can actually see that there's a short bit one side, a short bit the other side. Just connect the middle. Just connect both sides. Look, see? Boom, 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 boom. short bit, long bit, take it off. All the way through, all the way through. But what I'm doing now, I've created another guide in front of my finger that I say fuck you to. So that's another guide. Have you noticed how quick I'm cutting it? And that is simply because of the guidelines I've got. So I know there's nothing I'm going to do wrong. Might take it like I just did there. Took a bit too much of a gap between each stride, between each cut. So I've combed it all forward again, combed it back up into my hands, into between my fingers. I same again there. I took too much of a big gap. So that means there'll be lines through the haircut if you do that. If you take too much of a big gap, cutting the top of the hair, that means you're going to naturally cause scissor marks through the hair. Nobody likes a scissor mark. So there, that's the top done pretty much, guys. Look how simple and effective that was. As you can see, I'm just making sure the shape is everything is correct and exactly how I like it, exactly how Rizwan's going to like it. Up and through, and around, creating that kind of little swirl in the middle, because that's how he wears his hair. This is not how I style the haircut at the end, but that's how he likes to wear his hair. Almost like a cowlick in the middle of his head, but it's not actually a cowlick. So that's top down, guys. Onto the sides. Now we're onto the sides. So as you can see, there's a slight scissor line there, which is exactly what we wanted from our foundation line. So this means we're going to connect straight through that scissor line, up and through with our number 3. So I use my barberless FX, gold FX this year, with my number 3 guard. So watch my movement. I go up and straight through. I'm not going around the head. I'm going straight up and off, as you can see my movement there. So this is with my number 3. So what that does, it takes a scissor line straight out. And as you can see, my movement is straight up and off. I'm hardly touching the scalp. Look at Rizwan's head. It's hardly moving. The hair is moving, the scalp is moving, but his head is not moving, so I'm barely touching it. This is going to create a lineless haircut, a lineless fade. So as you can see, still going up and through. I'll repeat this right way around, right way around, right way around, just straight through that line. Now I've finished my number 3. I'm doing exactly the same thing. My barbless number 2, open. As you can see, my lever is fully open there. Same principle, same process. Up and through, as you can see, I'm doing it a bit slower for you guys. Up and through that 3 I've done. Not touching anything above the 3. That is the most important thing here. Not touching anything above the 3. So I'll do this right the way around again. Exactly the same process as you can see. Exactly the same process right the way around. Now I've done that all the way around. As I come back around to the other side, I close it down to a number 2, as you just see me close my lever. So getting right in tight to the recession there, guys. So the reason why I'm going tighter into the recession is that the dark patches, it eliminates the dark patches. So as you can see, my movement is always the same. Every stroke is exactly the same. So I'm going just up and through the 2.5 or 2 open, not touching the 3 again. I'm going to do this right the way around. Again, same process, same principle. Now I've done the 2 right the way around. I use my barbless 1.5, guard, open, short 2. Same again. As you can see, look here, I'm pulling down on the skin. I never pull up above where I'm fading. I find that it takes the fade too high. So I always pull down on the skin. So look at my movement with my clippers. Look how fluid it is. Exactly the same movement all the way through. All the way through. Going right the way around, same process, same principle. Look how quick this is now, guys. I won't skip this part. I won't speed it up. Boom. Done. Right the way around. Nibbling out the dark patches, obviously. And then close my lever. So this is now 1.5 guard. Now to start, I don't know why I started that side. I was meant to do it towards the camera, but obviously I'll work my way around. Same process, same principle. same movement. So now I've gone from 3 to 2 open to 2 closed to 1.5 guard open to 1.5 guard closed. Doing exactly the same movement. Now I'm going just up through the 1.5 guard open. Exactly the same process. Eliminating all the dark patches as you come around. Focusing a bit more on the session area there. Just make sure there's no dark patches or anything. I do tend to leave it a little bit heavier towards the front. Obviously that enhances the shape up, and I don't use enhancements at all. Just don't, personally, I don't like using them. I have used them. I don't think there's anything against using them, but personally, I don't use them. I have a few times for promotional purposes, but personally, I don't like using them. So last one, 1.5 guard done. So now going on to the zero line. I use my JRLs here. Yes, I have zero gapped them. I only use them because I find that they leave the softest zero line. So obviously, I'll look at my measurements. So I use my comb, finger depth just above the ear. Look how soft that is. So it's going to be a nice stretched fade with enough skin there. So as you can see, my line is slightly curved, dropping down towards the back. Nice and tight, making sure everything is clean, making sure there isn't a hair out of place. This, getting rid of the zero line and the skin line, this is the most important part of the fade, guys. So if you get this wrong, or if this isn't blurry, or if there's lines there, the whole fade is, well, fucked basically. So yeah, I do this right the way around. As you've seen me there, I just use my finger as a guide again. So right the way around. So now I've done my zero. I'm gonna hit this with my skeletons. As you can see, I'm drawing out a little line through there. So that is, I don't go past that line with my minis, my skeletons, my detailers, whatever you call them, the smaller clippers. So I'm using my barbless skeletons as a graphite 2.0 blade. This creates a super clean line. This is prepping it for the foilers. Do this right way around. Now onto my foilers. So I use a mini walls. I do use bronze as well if I'm going very high, but I'm not going high here. So I use my mini walls, and as you can see, I'm showing you the line with my finger. So therefore, going straight up, very softly, making sure it's lovely and clean. Working around the ear, not going too close to that zero line. There is a slight skeleton line there between the skeleton and zero. The reason why I've left that is to make sure I don't go past that with the foilers, and I will clean it up with a different detailer. As you can see, I'm using circular motions, flicking it towards the top of the skeleton line, moving it around. I'll do this right the way around, making sure it's extra crispy and soft. So now on to removing that skeleton line. So I use my barbless Gold FX graphite 2 blade. Now I'm using my barbless Low Pros, which has got a bit of a different blade on it. It's got a DLC on it. This is a lot softer on the skin, but not only that, it's a little bit longer than the Graphite 2.0. So that means I can connect the skeleton line into the zero line without leaving another line. So it's perfect length in between the skeleton and the zero. So this gives me the perfect blurry skin to zero line. Do that right way around, remove any lines, making it ultra soft. So now on to the magical part, the fade in. So I use my seniors here, but they've actually got my magic blade on. So they've got a magic head, the senior body. I just find it is hit completely different. I personally don't think there's a better blade out there for fading than the magic one. Hence why it's called magic. So here we go. Finger depth, 0.5 line, bare blade. Leaving the zero line there, as you can see, right the way in, making sure it's nice and crisp, nice and clean. I always leave that zero line there. So this is what I've been working so hard on, guys. This is what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to find out a new way of manipulating my old way. Sorry, guys. Manipulating my old way into my new way to make it super fast for you guys. When you nail this and when you get used to this technique and this process, it becomes super, super simple. Because you're leaving that zero line there, it gives you an extra guideline again. So you will fade, you do the 0.5 line, and then they will descend the fade, and then you will knock that zero line out into the fade. So I'll do my 0.5 line right the way around, right the way around, right the way around, making sure it's exactly the same all the way around. Now that is done, that's my 0.5 line. As you can see, I'm going to go on to my while number one open, fully open. Remember now, guys, I've done my 1.5 guard closed. So now my one guard open, just going knocking straight into that. You will see how easy this is to fade now, okay? So, and this is me going slow with this. So this is what I mean by I can do a fade in 20 minutes and it becomes this crisp every time. So just knocking it through, same process as before, slightly knocking through the 1.5 guard. It does look like I'm going higher, but trust me, I'm really not, unless I'm knocking out a dark patch. So yeah, look at my movement. It's nice, slow, flawless. I will go fully closed then, my number one. I will concentrate on one side. I'll do the left side or the right side, either side I will do first, and then I'll do the other side, and then I'll connect it back through. But look, guys, look how crisp that's getting already. You can manipulate the lever to how you want it. If you see a different line or if you see a different dark patch, feel free to use it. Is there in your arsenal to use it. As you can see, so basically I've done my open, closed, and back through just to knock that out. Okay. So now I've done my number one. I'm going to click on my Barbaless Luxury guard. Now this, guys, is the best 0.5 guard I've ever used in my life. So this is fully open, and the only place I found it is on Amazon. So £30 for a pack, and I've had one, and this lasted me about a year. So yeah, this is my newest one recently. But yeah, as you can see, it's fully open. Again, just knocking. It looks like I'm going higher than the number one guard, but I'm not. It's because I'm lifting off as I'm getting to the top. So as you can see, fully open, fully closed, in the middle. So I'm the lever is half open here. And as you can see, look, it's starting to knock out that one line already, that 0.5 line, sorry, into that one line. So when you get used to this, guys, imagine how quick it is. And then I go from this all the way down to closed, just to knock that 0.5 line out. As you can see, closed, boom. And very edge, very slightly knocking that line out, bit by bit. So now I'm going to use my open blade. So my 0.5 bare blade open. Remember, this is my magic head, yeah? So now I'm going to start knocking out that zero line. I'm connecting it first back into that 0.5 line I just done. I just got rid of with the 0.5 guard. As you can see, look, I'm using mostly of my right side of my clipper, so the corner of the blade, edging it out, edging it out. Look how clean that is, guys, already. I've hardly put any work into this. This is just the process I've been working on, and my god, it's fucking incredible, even if I do say so myself. Again, look, fully closed, fully open, fully closed, half open. And you do my half open, half closed, however you want to look at it. Just knock that line out. look, can you see I'm still leaving that zero line there because I've still got my bottom guide in. So I've got my top process and then I've got my safety blanket at the bottom to know exactly where I am at every stroke. And as I go through that, just knocking out the dark patches there, look. As you can see, I can teach you how to fade, guys, but what I can't teach you is the eye. Now, you either have the eye for the dark patches or for the lines, or you don't. Now, it's something you can learn over time, but that's what I would personally work on, is trying to look in for your mistakes, look in for what is wrong, what you can change in that fade, looking for the dark patches, looking for the line, look for it in your work, so it makes it better. As you can see now, I've closed it. Look at that. Boom. Because my magics are slightly, because they are zero gap, they're slightly shorter than the JRL, or just on par. So that means as soon as I close that line, bang, that zero line from the JRL is gone. There we are, guys. That is it. That is the fade done. Look how easy that was. Bang, from the process. Look at that. Obviously, there's a few dark patches where I'll hit out with scissors later on when I'm finishing off the blend. But there we are. That is the fade done. And I'm going to repeat that on the other side, which I will now skip. I'm going to fast forward it through because I don't show you cutting that the other side anyway. I do show you fading in the back. Right then, now that I've faded left and right, both sides, you can see that the back is left. But look how much less work there is. So I've just got this area to concentrate on. So I'll do my 1.5 open and closed, right around that patch. Then I will do my 1 open, then closed, right around that patch. And then when it comes to actually doing the fade, I will then do it in segments. So I'll do the left of the back and then I'll do the right of the back. As you can see in the process here. Exactly the same. Boom. Exactly the same process. I'm just showing you how I fade the back. Rizwan has got two dark patches, as you can see, one on the left, one on the right, but I'll show you how to tackle that in the next part. So, as you can see, started to work on my 0.5 guard, and then just getting rid of that line there. So I'll work one side, and I'll work the other. So then I'm going down to my open blade again. Exactly the same process, guys, as the sides. Okay, look how clean that fade is, man. Look how clean that is. And like I said, when I cut Rizwan's hair normally, after finding this process, the whole haircut takes me about 30, maybe 35 minutes. Full shape up the works. Like, as you can see, look, I'm focusing on the left side of the head, and then I will then go and focus on the right side of the back of the head. Just knocking out that line, making sure it's nice and crisp. And then I will show you how to remove that dark patch, because his hair at the back is lighter than it is at the back of the sides, which is really weird. I haven't seen it before on anyone else's head, but there we are. This is a model I've used, and which is quite good because I can show you how to tackle those dark patches with uneven coloured hair. So yeah, that's the process, and then onto the right side of the back of the head. As you can see there, what I mean by the centre of the back, I haven't gone higher there, guys. In the middle, that is literally the dents in his head that I've got to work with. So yeah, he's got a very nice hair on the sides, horrible head shape on the back. And now I'm going to show you how to remove those dark patches. No thinning scissors, no texturizing scissors, just my 6-inch Yoshis, Mataki Yoshis, obviously. As you all know, I'm attached to Mataki, but even before that, I used to use Mataki, and I've been a loyal customer of theirs for the last 9 years, my whole barbering career. As you can see, look, scissor over comb. That's how we work it. Just move my thumbs. Notching away, notching away, notching away, notching away. I do come back in the camera now, guys. There we are. Just taking off those ends, taking them off, taking them off, taking them off, bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit. Working, working, working. There we are. Finally actually moving the camera. I do apologise for that, guys. As you can see, look, I'm not taking loads off. I'm literally skimming through the hair. And when I'm combing it back through, I'm checking a dark patch again. You can see how bit by bit it does start to go. The blend just becomes seamless and the dark patches disappear. Fast forward it a little bit for you guys. Now I've done the scissor over comb. I will continue to use scissor over comb a lot, but now I'm in the point cutting to really enhance the haircut. So this is all the refining stages. So I don't do this on every haircut, guys. I do tend to only use it when I need to, and when my clippers aren't doing the job I need them to do. As you can see, there's still a little bit of a dark patch on the left hand side. I do come back to that at the end, but this is where you actually see my finger movement and my scissor work. Like you can see that there's hardly any hair coming through that comb. If you observe there, I'm just using a point cutting technique, but as with my comb as a guide. Continually edging, edging, edging. I would rather take too little off than too much and realize, fuck, I gotta take the whole haircut higher. Then it's a big fuck up. As you can see, look how seamless I am with it. And this isn't sped up, guys. That's my actual hand speed. It's my cutting speed when it comes to scissors. Fast. Now that all the scissor work's, well, pretty much the scissor work's done, apart from by there, and I'm right on the. So, as I said, now I'm going to show you the dark patch and scissor work on the sides. See, elevating continuously through. Lovely, lovely, lovely movement of the scissors on the floor. Very smooth, very soft. Lighting up the back patches. So we'll see in a minute. And right in there with the comb. And point it in. Just to remove any excess back patches. Alright, so I know I said earlier that the magic part is the fade. No. The magic part of the haircut is the shape up. So start off with talking about what clippers I'm using. Using my Barbless FX3s. These guys, they fucking seriously hit differently. They just hit different. So I normally start in the middle of the shape up, but because of Rizwan's hairline is like pretty much almost perfect, I'm just gonna start by taking out the corners and then edging away. So I'm not actually taking much hair off the hairline at all. It's just about edging it up to make sure that the longevity of the shape up is there. So I will edge in towards it, taking any stragglers off. It's crisp, making that corner super crisp first, and then pushing right over to the side. There's a little bit of a lip there, if you can see. See, as I'm showing you. And then you just take that off with clipper over comb, edging away. Because if you just shape it up and you just remove the excess hair there, you're gonna have a dark patch behind the excess hair you've moved. It's very crucial that you do actually remove the hair with clipper over comb or scissor over comb, whichever one you prefer, and getting that corner nice and crisp. Well, this is like truly where the haircut and the fade come alive. This is what makes any haircut, any taper, especially a taper actually. The shape up is the most important thing. You fuck up the shape up, you completely fuck the haircut. So yeah, so as you can see, now I'm putting a corner in of my C cup, moving it around nice and slow. Make sure the client doesn't twitch, just like Chris Van just did. I'm putting that C in. Not gonna wait any other liners there. Bang. Look how different that is, guys. If you rewind this a bit, rewind the video back to where it wasn't shaped up, to where it is now. Wow, what a difference. And that's just with the clippers, guys. The minis, the detailers, the FX3s, whatever ones you use. Now, as you can see this a bit more detailed now. Whereas I'm not taking much of the hairline away, just taking the excess hair away, so like the baby hair as we call it, and then leaving and taking any straggler hair off with it as you push in. See, as you can you see I'm slightly scooping into it, taking any of the prickly hair standing out as I'm trying to explain in the video now. Also, what I'm saying now is where my finger is. If you look where my finger is resting, that's another very key element to shape ups. If you have a resting finger, that means your hand's going to be naturally steadier. So that means you're going to have a better shape up because your hand is steady. Look, my finger is resting on his head. See, there again, you can see it. So yeah, this is a very, very key element to any haircut, guys. This is really weird because in Dubai, not many people actually like to have it fully shaped up. They only like to have the C cup. Some people don't even like to have the C cup. So that's a bit alien to me. So it's one thing I've had to adjust to being over here in Dubai. But yeah, I'm lucky enough. I work with Rizwan and he's got very, very good hair. So yeah, but look at the transformation of the haircut there. The shape up is unbelievable. It completely changes the haircut. Completely. Just again, making sure each corner is right. And bang. Boom. No enhancements at all, guys. Like I said, nothing against them. I just don't like using them. So now onto the styling. I've pre-wet the hair and I've put some satin in just to give it a little bit of a grip, with a little bit less shine, but with a bit of shine, a little bit of minimum hold. And now I'm just going to skip it forward a little bit. You can see the shape I'm trying to get here, using the A to direct exactly the shape I want. Now, using the A, I'm going to control the shape. Using my brush, I'm going to direct the hair into the shape. So they both go hand in hand. Now it seems a bit obvious, but they really do. So creating a square back, square sides, flick up through the fringe. I'm going to skip it forward, just so you don't have to watch 9 minutes of me styling. Obviously I don't take this long if it's an everyday client on styling, because normally they don't want a fancy hairstyle or anything like that. So just flying through it now. I'm going to skip it to the end for you. So now you can see it's all dried in the shape, into the style, and now I'm just refining using my fingers, just trying to create that texturized look, that sectioned. You just create that wavy look coming through. A bit of hairspray added each time, just connecting it through. Now, like I said, I would never ever spend this much time on someone's hair if he's just an everyday client. But as I'm recording it and I'm going to show off a bit of my creative styling techniques, this is how I do it. So as you can see, the shape I've created with the brush and the hairdryer is a fringe coming all the way up from the sides, and then the fringe flicking up the circular motion, so it's coming back on itself. That texturized separation look on top. Spin a bit of hairspray at the front just to make sure there's no stragglers. And as you can see, that is the shape. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it just as much as I have. I hope you take this forward and into your everyday haircuts. Peace and love, guys.